is superior to the shoulders. The femur is inferior to the pelvis. The toes are anterior to the foot. The shoulder blade is located to the posterior side of the body. The middle toe is to the medial part of the foot. The pinky toe is toward the lateral part of the foot. The elbow is proximal to the wrist. The ankle is distal to the knee. The skin is superficial to the bones, and the brain is deep to the skull. The sagittal plane divides the body in right and left halves. The frontal plane divides the body into halves anteriorly and posteriorly. And the transverse plane divides the body into inferior and superior halves. The center of mass is a point that represents the very center of a system's mass. The belly button is typically a good center of mass. Motions in the sagittal plane include flexion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, hyperextension, extension. Motions of the frontal plane include abduction, adduction, elevation of the scapula, depression of the scapula. More movements that occur in the frontal plane are eversion as well as inversion. More examples of motions in the frontal plane are deviation, which with the hand is ulnar and radial deviation. An example of lateral flexion is moving the head from side to side. Motions in the transverse plane are as follows: internal and external rotation of the leg, external rotation, internal rotation. In the transverse plane also include rotation to the left and rotation to the right, such as turning your head. Motions of the transverse plane also include protraction and retraction, which you can do with your mandible, and also supination and pronation. And supination is just like holding a bowl of soup and right in front of you, and pronation is holding it oppositely with your palm facing down. Motions in multiple planes. Circumduction includes these, waving your arms in a circle like this is circumduction, and you can even do the same with your legs. Motions that take place in multiple planes are pronation and supination of the ankle. So pronation of the ankle is to put the weight on the lateral side of your foot, whereas supination of the ankle is to turn your foot inward and put the weight on the medial part of your foot. An example of a closed skill is a squat. And an example of an open skill is a leg curl, which I don't have a leg curl machine, but you get the picture. An example of translation would be running. An example of rectilinear translation would be walking. An example of curvilinear translation would be throwing a paper airplane, because we don't know which path the airplane's going to take, and it could just take a curvature path. And an example of rotation on the body would be the eyes, because the eyes can rotate around. An example of general motion is a jumping jack. An example of a discrete skill is catching a ball. An example of a serial skill is a combination move in boxing. An example of a simple kinetic chain is the arm, and an example of a complex kinetic chain would be the torso. An example of an open kinetic chain would be a barbell curl. And an example of a closed kinetic chain would be a push-up.